Hello everybody. Welcome back to Shay's Hobby Dog Bay. It's nighttime. It is Friday night, 26th, I think. June 26th, 2020. I'm sorry if I scared anybody with my last video. I was worried and scared. And I want to thank everybody for all of your prayers and your comments. Thanks so much. But this is an update on my hubby. So, Wednesday night, this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, which was the 24th. If I'm not mistaken, I hope I've got this right. Anyway, sorry y'all. It was late at night. We had church service online, video, live stream, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, he come in, and just as church was starting, so we cut it on, and we was in the kitchen cooking supper, and then we ate supper and finished listening to the service. And then when it was over and we got through eating, he ended up having to go outside to work on our sewage plumbing. It's been messing up. He says it's something to do with the way the road people has the pipe out to the road or something, and it makes it mess up all the time, and he's always having to go out there and work on it to try to get it unstopped so the commode will flush good. So he was out there late at night till 11 o'clock working on that, and he came in and he was a mess. And so he went and got in the shower, and then he went to bed. And I was in here in my room watching videos, and after a while he's banging on the wall. Well, that's normal. He usually always does that to get my attention, because just, hollering out, don't really, sometimes if I'm listening to a loud video, I don't hear good, so he just always knocks on the wall. So I heard the knocking, and I hollered out, "Yeah," and he didn't say nothing. So I paused my video, and I said, "Did you call me?" And he said, "Yeah," in a bad, weak sounding voice. So I went running. I knew something was wrong. He was holding his chest. He was sitting up on the side of the bed. He was rocking. Then he flipped over on the bed, kind of on his side, but kind of on his stomach. Then he got up. Then he stood up and he started walking around. He moved the fan out of his way before he got up that he has pointing there at him. He says the wind was hurting his chest. He got up. At first, during all this, he couldn't even talk to me. I was saying, "What's wrong?" And he couldn't say nothing. And he got up and he was walking around and holding his chest, and then he squatted down on the floor, and then he got back up and he was walking around again. I knew something was wrong, big time. Okay. He has had, throughout all of our years, when the girls was real little, we lived in Vicksburg, Mississippi, he started having chest pains and his arm hurting. And we had took him to the ER, and they did EKGs and didn't find anything. Okay. They just chalked it up to stressful, and it makes muscle spasms or something. Okay. Since then, all throughout the years, he's had these things many a time. I just about remember every one of them. And every time I would always say, "I wish you would go get that checked again. I hope you're not having a heart attack." But anyway, so he was worrying me, and I called the girls, and I started crying. I can't, y'all know me, I can't help it. I can't hold myself. I told y'all before, I'm a big baby about anything, and I can't do nothing or talk about nothing without crying. So anyway, called the girls, and I explained how he was acting. saying, this is not right. He is not acting himself. He is one that does not go to the doctor. He is one that does not take any medicine at all. He hates it. And just all of that. So anyway, and he's a tough, when it comes to pain, he's tough. He don't let on about it. He's got a high pain tolerance, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I couldn't handle the type of pain he handles, because I'm a big baby. It hurts and I cry. So anyway, when I had called the girls, or actually, I had texted both of them and told them, but then they didn't answer, so I figured they was in bed asleep. So I went ahead and I called Katie. Alright, she answers, and I woke her up, but I started crying and telling her how her daddy was doing. And so I think I tried to call, no, I asked Katie, can you call Elizabeth on the three-way calling? And she tried, but Elizabeth wasn't answering. So we finished talking to Katie. She told Marcus. Marcus got up and said he was going to come over here to check on him and just kind of sit here for a little while and see how things go. So Marcus was getting up, getting ready and coming, but by that time Elizabeth had called and I told her, and so she said she would come over. So she lives closer, so she got here before Marcus did. And her daddy had sat down in the chair in the living room, and that's where he was at when she got here. Well, before she got here, in the bedroom one time to me, and it may have been when we was on the phone with Katie, and Katie had said, is it pain that you need to go to the ER, or, some other type of pain, like indigestion or something like that. And when she said the one about, or the ER, he said, maybe. And y'all, that is something Albert never says. Like I said, he does not want to go to the doctor. But he was also having a hard time breathing. So, after Elizabeth got here, she got here before Marcus did. After Elizabeth got here, she was talking to him, asking him questions, and she asked him that, and he said, I might. So that was like the second time. Okay, Marcus gets here. Marcus knows I don't understand. He's not a doctor. He's not a nurse. He's not went to school or training for it, I don't think. Or maybe he's done some type of little class. I remember something, but I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But he understands more than we do about our body, medicine, and just types of things. So he actually felt of Albert's pulse and, was checking him out. And so while he was here for the third time, when Marcus asked him that, the third time, Albert said, I might, to the answer of needing to go to the ER. Well, we made him go. I got him a t-shirt. I helped him put it on. He wanted blue jeans. He was in his pajama jogging pants, but he didn't want to go in those, so I had to help him put blue jeans on. So Marcus and Elizabeth took him to the ER, and I stayed here. But I was crying. I was worried and praying. So they took him to the ER. When he left, I told him I loved him, and he said, I'll be back in a little bit. Anyway, so they got to the ER, and of course they let Elizabeth go in with him. Marcus had to sit out in the parking lot, and she kept me updated, and Marcus was posting on Facebook, his Facebook page, all about it and asking for prayers from everybody. And then, a lot of people had come in and text, and then he gave updates on there, and then I don't want to jump ahead of my story. Let me go back. So she was giving me updates, and they had done EKGs, and they come back not showing a heart attack. They did blood tests. They was waiting on that. They did x-rays. They was waiting on that. And it took a long time. They had to wait 2 hours between each test. Anyway, so, and then at one point he threw up. And then they come back and they said it looks like a mild heart attack. So this hospital here, I guess, is too small and didn't have the equipment they needed. So they loaded him up on a ambulance and took him to Hattiesburg Hospital, Forest General. And, you know, she told me that. Well, what they did, they took him on the ambulance. Marcus went home. He had tried to call Katie to let her know. She had fell asleep, and he couldn't get her awake that way. So, because her and Gracie was at home. So, he goes home to wake her up and tell her. Elizabeth, well, she had to go home first, get a sweater, cut her hair off, and it was something else. Anyway, and then she was going to come get me, so I was getting dressed and getting ready, and she comes and gets me, and in the meantime, Marcus had got home, woke Katie up, told her, she gets up and gets dressed. Marcus stays home with Gracie. Katie gets in their car, heads to Hattiesburg. So Elizabeth comes, gets me, we get in our car, head to Hattiesburg. We actually come up on Katie, you know, in the drive-in there, and, you know, we're talking to her on the phone, and she's, you know, Elizabeth thinks she sees her and tells her, and so Katie flashes her lights, and yeah, it was her. So we stayed together on the rest of the way to Hattiesburg. Got there, I may not remember everything exactly. I mean, well, by the time we got there, because he was here a very long time, so it was like 3 o'clock in the morning before they even loaded him on the ambulance to get him to Hattiesburg. And so by the time they come, we all got ready, and Elizabeth got me, and we was headed there. When we got there, it was like almost daylight, almost morning. So they let us go in, they checked our temperature, they gave us a mask, and we went in and asked, you know, to see that we was there to see our dad. He'd come in an ambulance, and, you know, whatever about his situation. And so I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, they told us where he was. The girls let me go in. They had to go back outside in the parking lot, and they had to stay in the parking lot. I think they actually got in the vehicles in Katie's van and laid back and went to sleep or something. But I went in and went to his room where they had him. And while I was in there, a nurse was coming in and doing blood and just, you know, different little things. When I first went in, they was doing x-rays, so I actually had to step out the door and wait. And then I went in, and then they come in and did blood and blah, blah, blah. And then a doctor came in finally and was looking at something on the computer, and he looked at him and says, it looks like you have a mild heart attack, you got some blockage, we're going to have to go in and do a heart cath. So that's what they were going to get ready. He went to set that up, the doctor did. And so I was texting with the girls and letting them know. So I'm trying to think now what we did next. I think I came out because Katie hadn't seen him yet, and Albert was asking about the girls and wanting to see them. Elizabeth had been with him here. Katie hadn't seen him yet. So I came out. Katie came in and went and seen him, and I was out with Elizabeth. And then our pastor came along and he talked with us. We told and explained everything. And then, which Elizabeth had been on the phone with different people telling them and updating them and all this kind of stuff. And Katie was in with her daddy. Well, then Katie comes out, and our pastor, Brother Trustley, goes in, and he sees Albert. He prays for him, and while he's in there, they are ready for Albert, and they come get him to take him to do the heart cath. So Elizabeth had not got to be in there yet here at Hattiesburg. It was here that she was with him, but, you know, it was her turn next. So Katie came out. They was calling Elizabeth. Elizabeth was going to be the one to stay in the waiting room to get calls from them updating her on what they're doing, the heart cath. And we had to stay out in the parking lot. So she got in there, and they did the heart cath. That's when I made that video. I was out in the car and I showed the hospital and made that video to put up. I wanted y'all to know, and I was asking for prayers, and I thank y'all so very much. So, our friend that lives in Hattiesburg, his name is James, because like I said, we was calling and letting everybody know. So, James came and brought us some breakfast to eat. So we ate, and then our pastor gave us some money for lunch. So we used that to go eat lunch later. And, so, I'm so sorry, y'all. And so, the doctor, Albert, said he was awake while the doctor was doing the heart cath. I didn't understand or know what a heart cath was. He was saying, they had told us that it wasn't surgery, that he wouldn't be put to sleep. But then the way Katie described it, she was thinking that he would be asleep, because she was saying they're going to give him some happy medicine, which she said, you usually always fall asleep. But Albert didn't fall asleep. He talked to the doctor while the doctor was doing it. They talked about work and wood and cement and all this kind of stuff. The doctor explained to him what he was doing. And, he told him, he said, okay, it's going to be a little stick. And then he did that. And then he said, okay, I'm trying to go in. Then he said, okay, I'm in. And Albert was saying, okay. He said he didn't feel a thing. So anyway, which, of course, I guess they gave him something to deaden it and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I would not have been able to do that. I'd have freaked out. They would have had to have knocked me out. Anyway, so, I'd have been freaking out with the pain anyway. So, they'd probably went ahead and knocked me out for that. Anyway, I'm trying not to make this too long. I already have. After the doctor got in for a minute, he said, okay, you are 100% blocked. And we have been told that if he was only like 75% blocked, that he could get in, no, it was 90% blocked, that he could get in with the heart cath and put a stent in to clear it out, blow it up, clean it out, open it all up. But he said that's the one, he's never been able, to do it higher than that. But Albert was 100% blocked. But this doctor, he told Albert, he said, okay, you're 100% blocked. He said, but hang on. I just want to try one more time. And so he kept pushing, and he got past. He said that it was an early enough blockage, and that it was soft enough that he could get past in there. And he did. And he put the stent in, and it blew it up with air, blowed it out, cleaned it out or something, opened the arteries up. Is the only way I know. That's what I've been told and how I'm explaining it. So anyway, and he told Albert, he said, I am glad that I am the one that was here to do this for you. He said, because most doctors would not have tried again and really pushed on through to get it in there. As soon as they seen that you were 100% blocked, they would have stopped right then and said, okay, open heart surgery. So we're all very thankful for that. And let me tell you this, when my pastor, Albert tells us this, when my pastor was in there and he was praying for Albert said that he prayed that if they found that Albert was fully blocked, that it would be soft enough that the doctor could get in there and clear it. And that is exactly what happened. So, that was God. So, everything went well. That was over. They brought him out. Brought him to his room. And, Elizabeth came out and told me I could go in. And so I went. He was like in a holding room. It was a holding room at first. They didn't have his room ready. So he was in a holding room, And I went in there, and they had him, because, it was early morning still. When I got in there to the holding room, it wasn't even 11 o'clock yet. And they had brought him a tray with cereal and milk on it, which at this point they was telling him he couldn't sit up right now. But yet they brought him cereal and milk to eat. So there's no way he could have ate it. So, and he didn't really want cereal. They also had him a muffin, but he didn't really want muffin either. But the lady told him, see, it was almost 11. She said, at 11 I can order you a lunch tray. So he decided to just hold out and not try to eat the cereal or the muffin and just wait for the lunch. So they ordered him one. Well, it wasn't long. They had his room ready, and they took him in his room. So we went to the room, and then they brought his lunch in. And the lunch was baked chicken, rice and gravy, broccoli, cornbread muffin, and a thing of peaches. He don't like broccoli, so he didn't even bother with touching that. He tasted the chicken, and he didn't like it. He tasted the rice and gravy, and he didn't like it. He said, that's some nasty gravy. And the chicken was blah. So he ate the cornbread muffin, and he ate the peaches. He said that was some good peaches. It's probably because he was so hungry. Excuse me. Anyway. So, let's see, I'm trying to think what happened next. That was, because it was Wednesday night when we went, so that was Thursday, which was yesterday. That would be the 25th, I think, because today's the 26th, I think, Friday. Okay, so, I know I went out. Who came up next? I can't remember. I'm not being able to remember all this now. But anyway, he came through it. He's alive. He's well. He's still with us. Thank you, Jesus, and thank all of y'all for all of y'all's prayers. He was in the hospital overnight. Last night. Oh, okay. I know what we done. Hang on, it's coming back to me. I can't remember who went in to see him next. Probably we all had another turn. Since after his surgery, I was the first one to go in, so then probably the girls had a turn. Okay, I just don't remember exactly how that went. Alright, then the visiting hours was from 7 to 7, and it was hot outside, and the ones that wasn't in with him had to stand outside in the parking lot, and we were tired and exhausted. I was, and Katie was. Yes, I was trying to think how it went. So Elizabeth decides to stay, and me and Katie come home. She brings me home, and she goes home, and I laid down and took a nap. So Elizabeth stayed. She actually stayed later than 7. They told her as long as she didn't get out in the hall and stayed in the room, they'd let her stay a little bit later. So, because once she got out in the hall, then she would have to leave. So anyway, she did. She stayed later. She didn't leave till 7:30. So she came back. I had laid down and took a nap, but she come and got me because I didn't want to stay here by myself. So she come and got me, woke me up. I mean, we had planned this. I knew she was going to do this. And I went home with her and spent the night, slept in Gracie Girl's room. Grace Girl has her own room at Auntie's house. And so, because they wouldn't let nobody stay with him at night, so he had to stay there by himself last night. I hated that, but, and it's only one person during the day at one time, and everybody else has to stay outside, not even in a waiting room in the hospital. I hate that. Anyway, so, the next morning, me and Elizabeth gets up. So the plan was me and Elizabeth get up, get ready. She had to bring me back over here. I got ready and got some things, got some stuff for Albert. When we get in the car, we stop and get us a biscuit, and then we go to the hospital. And the plan was the plan was she was going to go up and see her daddy. Then she was going to come down, and I was going to go up, and Elizabeth was going to leave and come back home. And I was going to stay there with him all day long, since that way they wouldn't have to stay out in the hot heat, and they could come home and rest, and I'd be there all day. Because they kind of figured that he would get to come home, but knowing how hospitals usually are anyway, they take forever, your admittance papers, this and that. A lot of people had to come in and talk to him, a dietary person, all kind of stuff. So they figured it'd be late evening. So I was going to stay there with him, and then when they come in and started doing the admittance papers to discharge him, I think that's how you say it, dismiss him, whatever, anyway, Katie was going to come. Katie and Gracie. She was going to bring Gracie so Gracie could see Pawpaw and be there to get Pawpaw and get us and bring us home. That was the plan. But we got there. Elizabeth goes up to see her daddy, and in a little bit she is back out at the car. She had planned to stay longer, like 45 minutes, and she was jumping in, going around to pick up Albert. They was done through, and they had done the dietary. What it was on the way there, when me and Elizabeth was driving there, the doctor or the dietary person called, and they put it on loudspeaker. Elizabeth was talking to him. Albert wanted Elizabeth to talk to, because he was afraid he wouldn't remember everything the dietary person said. So, she listened in on that and talked, and she helped ask questions and stuff like that. And so that was done, and all they had to do then was just the papers, and I guess that didn't take long. And so they were bringing him out. They was kicking him out. And so we picked him up and got him in the car, and we came home. We went and stopped and seen Gracie first, and then we brought him home, and then me and Elizabeth went to Walmart. I had to get some medicine. The hospital gave Albert all his medicine, but I had medicine to get, and we was out of water and flavoring and stuff like that. And Elizabeth picked up a few more food item things for us, and then she brought me back home. And then she went home to take another nap, and me and Albert was here, and he laid down and took a nap, and I was putting everything up, and I was getting his medicine organized and all of that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And sorry. Then Elizabeth came back over when she woke up from her nap, and she cooked supper for us. She did up some stir-fried chicken and bell pepper in it, and then some Spanish rice, and she cooked up some squash, and she had some Hawaiian sweet rolls, and she did that. And so we ate supper, and then she left and went back home, and he's in the bed in there now. And so I wanted to do this video. He's got to be home for a whole week, no working. He cannot pick up anything heavier than 5 pounds right now, and I need prayers. He's going to be here all week. I need prayers. And it's hard on us. He's got to change his diet. That's going to be hard. And I'm going to try to change mine with him. This scared him. It scared me. So, yep. That's where we're at. The doctor did tell him that he could drive. He can walk around. The doctor told him he could go to the office and just sit there and point and tell people what to do. Albert said, nope, I can't, because I don't have anybody I can depend on to do that. I'd have to do it. I'm the only one that can build, that can pick up the heavy stuff and build and do the certain things. He gives Benny little jobs because he's not able to really do anything. So then the doctor said, okay, don't go to work for a whole week. And he's not. He's shook up. He's scared. So, all right. And I just wanted to update y'all. But thank the Lord, he is still here with us. I literally do not think I would make it without him. Okay. Alright guys, just wanted to update y'all. Thanks again for all the prayers. I want to say, I don't know how this works on Facebook. my daughter Katie and her husband, they have a Facebook page, and that's where Marcus had posted about him and was asking for prayers and everything. And then when Elizabeth was getting him out of the hospital, he was in a wheelchair and he had a mask on. She took a picture of him and she posted that, you know, they were leaving, taking him home. And I know, you know, y'all would like to see all that. I would like for y'all to see all that. I'm thinking that the Facebook pages, people can set them to be private or public or something like that, and you may have to request to be a friend. I don't know how that works. You may not be able to see all the stuff on there unless you are a friend. I don't know how they have theirs set, but it may be set to where y'all could see it without being a friend. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you the name of their page. You can go check it out for yourself, see what it's like. Now, if it's where you have a request, y'all may have to let me know and let me tell her, so that, because she's not just going to let anybody, so I would have to tell her that it's my subbies, and maybe she would, you know, let y'all be friends. I can't promise that either. My girls are so ticky, but I'm gonna tell y'all this anyway, so y'all can try to go look at it and see. And I would like for y'all to let me know if y'all were able to see the picture and the post and the comments on Albert. So their page name is Marcus N. Katie Gentry. That is MARCUS. And then you skip, and then it's a big N, and then you skip, and then it's KATIE, and then you skip, and then it's GENTRY. Marcus N. Katie Gentry. Okay? Alright, go check it out. Come back here and let me know if you was able to see it or what. Okay? Alright guys, like I said, thanks again. I knew this was going to be a long video. Hopefully it won't be too much trouble to get it put up tonight. Alright. See y'all later. I am out of here until next time I'm done. I'm gone. Toodle-doo.